Welcome everyone, Tactical Lich here. We're in the middle of the week and we are gonna mix things up a bit. Have a little bit of shift in format and throw in some tournament replays. This is a tournament hosted by Lucyna with a very unique theme. Basically, you make around slightly over half your opponent's army and then force them to use the units you picked for them. And yeah, it's a pretty fun meme tournament. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the time to play it or cast it over the past roughly a month and a bit. So yeah, we are here super late to the party. We even have multiple hotfixes patches in the middle of it. But either ways, we are going to cast this tournament in the format of replays. I hope that the hotfixes don't really mess up with the battles themselves, but since they don't really involve stat changes, it theoretically should be fine. Well, should is the keyword here. No spoilers, of course. Lucyna, right, Lucyna is in the chat right now. So yeah, he was the one who organized the tournament, collected all the replays, and sent this in. So big thanks to Lucyna for giving us this giving us all the materials for the stream. And yeah, we are jumping into the first battle soon. Oh, Mr. Toyful, I don't have the game installed at the moment. Been having fun with Baldur's Gate instead. Yeah, I heard the Baldur's game is really good. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time to play. I want to play it for sure. It's just Armored Core, Total Warhammer, and like a bunch of live stuff has been making me super busy. So yeah, but when I get time, I'm definitely gonna try it out. But anyways, let's go back to the stream itself, where we are going to start with the first battle. We have quite a few battles today so far. 4 and then 6, 7. So around 11 battles, and that's probably gonna take us 10 minutes per battle. Roughly 2 hours, and we should be able to go through everything because we do have the losers bracket. They are only best of ones though, so it shouldn't be too long. Now, first battle between Sipa and Koala Duck, two rising stars of the community. Sipa going for like a ton of peasant yeomen, mounted yeomen, and knight errant. That is, and also a generic lord plus 2 paladins. So no caster, unfortunately, and yeah, that's basically what they have to go for with their units. I assume Koala Duck forced Sipa to go for like a crap ton of cheap units, and then that occupies most of their army slots, which means they don't actually have any slots for additional expensive cavalry. So a Grail Knight and a Companions of Canal is all that they can bring to the table, and the rest of the money just went into the chevrons of the few trebuchet. Now, I don't know what exactly the players forced their opponents to bring, but yeah, things are not looking great for Sipa's Bretonnian army already. A Battle Pilgrim in the middle of the entire front line, and then a bunch of Spearmen at Arms as the main infantry fighting forces. As for the free cavalry, as for the free melee characters, one paladin is on foot, the other on is the other on foot as well? Yes, indeed. Wait, can the players pick the mounts for their opponents? Yeah, they can't actually pick the mount. So, yeah, it is Sipa's voluntary choice to pick foot paladins, but the Lord at least is still on a horse, so giving himself a little bit more mobility. Anyways, that's it for the Bretonnians. For the other side, we have Khorne, and it is indeed a triple Minotaur mixed in with a ton of Marauders of Khorne on the front line. I assume all the funds for the meme picks gone into the Chaos Chariots, the Chaos War Shrine of Khorne. You never see this thing. Oh god. And the Marauders plus, yeah, just Marauders and stuff. So 3 Chaos Chariots, 3 Marauders, 4 Marauders, in fact. Well, no, 1 Chosen of Khorne, 3 Marauders, and, triple Minotaurs, and a single Blood Reaper, and also a Herald of Khorne. All 3 Minotaurs of Khorne do have great axes, and this might be the downfall of Bretonnia if they can just hack down all the cavalry. But that is a lot of cavalry to go through, so we shall see. Anyways, Chosen of Khorne at the back is getting showered by heavy dropping rocks. Do have to look out for falling hazard. Not that they can dodge it anyways, but still, quite a bit of damage is already dealt to the Chosen. But now the problem of peasant artillery comes into play. They just don't hit much, even when their targets are getting close, and even if they have those 3 chevrons. Anyways, Marauders of Khorne marching into the front line. They should be able to clear out the spearmen at arms, no problem whatsoever. The problem is, yeah, the Chaos Chariots. They're just gonna get stuck among a bunch of cavalry and kind of just die. Anyways, Chosen are still getting hammered by all those artillery. Mounted Yeomen moving in, but then getting countercharged by the Minotaurs and will be absolutely shredded. Same goes for these Mounted Yeomen. I mean, Mounted Yeomen against Khorne, yeah, they're not gonna do much. They can't even fight through the Marauders infantry more effectively anyways. Unless there is Marauder Horsemen, then maybe the Mounted Yeomen will be useful. But right now, they're just lunch meat for all the Minotaurs of Khorne. Gorbeast Chariots, no, Chaos Chariots, these aren't even Gorbeast, don't even have armor piercing, just melee. Just non-armor piercing melee. They are charging in, but there are no chariots, and I mean no archers for them to run down, and they are trapped among cavalry. But surprising enough, the Minotaurs without infantry support is dying much faster than the Chaos Chariots. Something needs to be done here, as all these Marauders are on the other side, despite their flag is all the way on here. But we see the things here, the Minotaurs over here are kind of just left to dry, and the Chosen, big mistake here, leaving them in reserve, allowing the trebuchets continue to hammer the Chosen. But if we look at the balance of power, it is actually in favor of Khorne because of these Minotaurs hacking through the cavalry with pretty high cost efficiency. Like the Companions of Canal is almost done for, down to a quarter of their health, while the where's the Grail Cavalry? Oh, they're still, no, these are Knights Errant. Grail Cavalry are here, but they're kind of stuck among a bunch of Minotaurs of Khorne and are still trying to pull through. This might be a big mistake. They need to fight through the Minotaurs because right now they're just trying to push through and not doing any damage while being hacked down in return. They have pushed through and now jumping on top of the Chaos Chariots. More and more Knights Errant. They were trying to deliver some real charges, but just kind of got stuck in the grind fight and are taking substantial damage. Even the Grail Knights are down to the last 1/3 of their HP. Khorne is getting a more commanding position now, and I do think that Khorne has this pretty much in the bag. The Lord is fighting, but surrounded by Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons. He is taking a lot of damage. All the peasants are faltering, leaving the foot paladins still in the fray. More and more Knights Errant are just like getting hacked down by the Minotaurs. These ones are still, no, the Chaos War Shrine. How much did it charge? It actually almost going up to full intensity now, giving the surrounding Khorne troops a lot more melees. But that's not gonna help the Chaos Chariots much, unfortunately. And yeah, Lord is dead. I mean, almost dead from the Minotaurs, while the Chosen are also on the verge of death, sitting aside, being hammered by rocks for too long. But that's fine because the rest of the Chaos Army, the Khorne Army, is pulling up ahead. There's no healing for the Bretonnians, unfortunately. So these Grail Knights, what you see is what you get. Once they get broken up, they will not be able to recover as they cannot pull back their HP. We'll be fast forwarding here as the few trebuchets still trying their best to fight, but wait, pure victory for Chevalier de Lyonnaise. What? Okay, I think the game is drunk. Oh, god damn it. I think, well, the game is definitely drunk, and I think the hotfixes did affect some of these battles. So, yeah. Well, the battle actually, wait, what? Koala? This makes no sense. Koala Duck lost this fight, and Sipa moved on to the next stage. I must have missed something here. But yeah, not sure why Koala Duck admit defeat there. Maybe they just need to go soon or something. I'm not sure. I am not sure, but oh, Koala Duck probably just left the game and not able to play. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like Horn would have won won this no problem. But yeah, for some reason, I think Koala Duck conceded. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, the Minotaurs did all the damage. Not much to say really. The Chaos Chariots didn't expect much. Didn't really expect much from them. Herald of Corn leading the army. Yeah, he's a okay fighter with like his melee attack buffs, but he's just not as good as Volkia, which is like the 90% you'll see her on the battlefield these days. Being a pretty good melee duelist and having a bit of utility on the battlefield. So yeah. Not much to say about the Bretonnian army. They got outtraded in almost every aspect. So, yeah. We'll move on to the next battle. Okay, hold on a second. Nope, no. Wrong tab. I need to find... Wait, what? Please don't. Okay, cool. Okay. Accidentally turn on other tabs. Don't worry about it. They are not any forbidden sites. I just hope that doesn't fuck with the monetization of here. But yeah, just a few. But yeah, anyways. But yeah, I'm not sure if same as Koala Duck. I'm not sure if same as Lucyna. I'm not sure if Koala Duck forfeit it or if the whole thing is just pure drunk, the replay is drunk or anything. But yeah, so next round, the Dawi, the Dawi with Carnosaurs. I saw this like when I was checking the replay files to making sure that everything's in place, and this came up. It looks like they can actually spend money on the yoked Carnosaur. So we have Carnosaurs on both sides, and Nurgle's PA versus Saber's Ragnum, both going for dwarves. Going for degenerate dwarves, but yeah, the build is quite funny. Both of them going double engineers plus a Carnosaur. I'm pretty sure these are things they force their opponents to use. Double engineer with nothing on them, just nothing, preventing any access from preventing their opponents from accessing any runes. And we have the meme lords on the field. So Sabers is on red side and Nurgle's PA on the green side. Nurgle's PA being forced to use Ungrim Iron Fist and a ton of gyrocopters on the front line, and on the ground dwarf warriors, 5 miners with blasting charges, 4 crossbow units, 3 of them rangers, 1 of them quarrelers. On the other side, gyrocopters don't have armor piercing, so they might not be that effective against iron breakers and stuff, which we have 2 over here. 2 iron breakers, 2 giant slayers against dwarves. And oh no, there's gyrocopters on the other side, so the giant slayers are basically sitting duck to all the blasting charges and other anti-infantry damage like the gyrocopters, and 4 Buckman's Rangers on the far end of the battlefield. And the Buckman's Rangers unfortunately have nothing to protect them, and they are pretty much sitting ducks against their opponents here. They can try to trade against the Rangers and Quarrelers, but that's not gonna be too pretty for them. They did get their first shot though, so the Quarrelers are taking a lot of damage. That's more than I expected, but they do have their backs turned against their opponent, so I guess the missile block chants are not effective right now. But if anything, the armor should still be doing some decent work. Anyways, the missile trade at the back here seems like going in the favor of the red team, which is Saber's Ragnum, while the Carnosaur jumping in to do a bit of disruption against the miners with blasting charges. Ironbreakers moving in, while Carnosaur against Carnosaur violence is gonna happen soon. Giant Slayers jumping on top of Dwarf Warriors, doing some pretty good damage with their armor piercing, but then blasting charges will immediately delete them. Although there is indeed some friendly fire at the back there. Buckman's Rangers with their fortification, health regen, they managed to rout off the Coralers and Rangers while they themselves are still holding pretty okay. Thorgrim Grudgebearer marching in as the green Connoisseur is over chasing, and Thorgrim does have a pretty good weapon strength. No armor piercing, unfortunately. I mean, small armor piercing, unfortunately, but still good enough to start beating back this green Connoisseur. Ironbreakers fighting against Miners. Miners have armor piercing, but they don't have that melee stat. So the heavy melee defense, 66 melee defense on all these Ironbreakers are just slowly but surely grinding out their opposing Dwarf Brethren. At the back there, all these Dwarf heroes are jumping into combat, trying to silence the Buckman's Rangers. But the Buckmans will be turning on guard mode, continue to shoot. They do need to start shooting at the gyrocopters though, because they unfortunately do not have much answer to the Dwarf Air Force. So looks like the Buckmans will continue to blast away at the Rangers, but the problem is that gyrocopters are indeed doing a lot of damage because the Buckmans do not have much armor on them, and the explosive damage will be pretty effective against their tightly packed formations. In the front line there, Ironbreakers are still fighting, but it seems that they are kind of faltering in front of the sheer numbers of their opponent. And yeah, we might be seeing a green victory here as the balance of power is in the favor of Nurgle's PA, or aka the green dwarfs right now. Giant Slayers just don't have a good trade in this occasion, and the meme pig, the gyrocopters, unfortunately is yeah, has spelled the doom of the red dwarf army. Yeah, the Yoke Dinosaur is still fighting, but it's just gonna be sitting duck against the Dwarf Air Force, the Green Dwarf Air Force. Plus, there's still a ton of crossbows at the back to freely shoot down the targets right now. Thorgrim Grudgebearer, he has heavy armor and missile resistance, but that is not gonna save him from the sheer numbers of crossbow bolts remaining. There are still some Ironbreakers fighting, and with the help of the Connoisseur, they are able to break through the Miners with blasting charges. Who have used up their blasting charges. Ironbreakers now moving back to reform their ranks, while the rest of the Buckmans, the Vanguard Buckmans, are just getting chased away all the way towards the back line, into the white line, and get rid of them from the battlefield. I mean, there are still some Ironbreakers plus Thorgrim, but I doubt that would be anything good right now. Especially Thorgrim doesn't have any other abilities. He's just going in naked. Yeah. The red dwarves are still fighting. Saber's Ragnum is still trying to put up a fight, but with the crossbow bolts available here, the Ironbreakers have no other options than to just sit there and take it, especially when there's also gyrocopter bombing runs. There are probably still some bombs available on these things. Nope, looks like they have used up their bombs, I believe. I guess no more bombs, but that is not gonna help the Ironbreakers anyways. Wait, no, they still have 2 uses of their bombs, so the bombs must be inside the compartments. Oh yeah, they probably can open up a hatch and drop the bombs out. But either ways, the rest of the elite infantry can just be bombed out, and the rest of the we should just probably fast forward right now, as it is just the single entity core on the red side fighting the green side with a ton of missiles and, well, their own single entity core. Thorgrim not bringing any abilities might have been a mistake here, because in this kind of late game where single entity grind matters, yeah, they might need that to turn the fight around. Anyways, Master Engineers being surrounded by gyros, and at the back there, Thorgrim plus a Connoisseur fighting through Connoisseur. The Yoke Dinosaurs are unbreakable with Frenzy, and one of them managed to fight it out and beat down. The red one managed to beat down the green one, but then gyrocopters are jumping on top of them, trying to fight through the remaining HP. Did some okay charge impact damage, but then the Yoke Dinosaur jumps in, taking more crossbow bolts in the process though. So that's a big issue here, and eventually the crossbow bolts and the double engineers took down the Yoked Dinosaurs. And yeah, that's it. That's basically it. The remaining single entities can't fight through the rest of their opponents, the Nurgle's PAs, Green Dwarf forces, and that shall be it for Gotrek Starbreaker, aka Saber's Ragnum. Now, gyrocopters here getting some damage. I mean, these two getting some, this one getting some damage, but the rest did perfectly fine here. gaining back most, if not all, of their value. Really, the Giant Slayer is a great pick for the opponent here. Nurgle's PA picking the Giant Slayers for sure, forcing them to use this absolutely inefficient anti-dwarf tool, as they cannot fight, as they don't have any anti-large tools to fight against. So they're just there to sit there and take shots from the steam guns. And the rest of the army here, the dwarfs, most of the damage were dealt with the gyros, I believe, and a bit from the blasting charges from the miners against the Giant Slayers is pretty good indeed. And some of these Rangers and the Crawlers trade okay. Not the most amazing, but it is still okay, I would say. Okay, so let's see. And on the other side of the armies, yeah, the rest of the army over here didn't do that much. The Yoked Carnosaur got some good trades with the support of Thorgrim. Thorgrim. But the rest of the units, not so much. Not so much. The Vanguard Buckmans might have been a good idea, but then there's no artillery for them to snipe out. They can trade against the Crawlers and Rangers, but once they start trading against those, the melee troops would just move in and silence them, and then, yeah, you saw the rest. The Gyros just steamed them out. Third game from the first round, we have a Khorne versus Greenskins. Bavret versus IM0. For Bavret's Khorne army, definitely the Khorne bikes plus Marauders and maybe Scarbrand are being forced upon him by IM0. Oh, actually no, the Bloodlancers. The Bloodlancers and double Khorne bike, I believe, and maybe Scarbrand. The two Minotaurs with great axes are pretty standard. As for the Greenskins, we have a Warlord, a big boss, I believe. And then 4 units of Savage Orc Biggins, 3 Orc Board Chariots, 5 of the Exploding Squakes. Let me just slow down, and then we can go through the rest of the army. Savage Orc Board Biggins, 4 of them, and then we have an Orc War Boss, supported by a Goblin Big Boss and Super Squakes. It's just a ton of explosive squakes. I love it. I love it. This is the Greenskins equivalent of a quant of Pentabloat. Anyways, Goblin Big Boss and a Night Goblin Shaman. Allowing a Night Goblin Shaman on the battlefield might have been a mistake here. But there's only a Vindictive Glare to slowly snipe out enemy units, so not too bad for Khorne. Actually, wait. Oh, there are 2 Goblin Shamans. Wait, what? Is army limits not like is army limits not a thing for this tournament? I am not so sure. Oh, they probably don't have any rules. Wait. Yeah, this might have been a rule break, but oh well, whatever. It happened. It happened, and we'll just keep watching. So yeah, Vindictive Flare, Sneaky Stabbing, and yeah, and then a couple Goblin Wolf. I mean, it happened like weeks ago, so long ago. It doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter right now. So yeah, double Goblin Wolf Riders, and on the other side, a ton of Marauders of Khorne, trying to go for a very narrow column formation. Very wise choice from the Khorne player here, IN0. Because like if the the Super Squig goes in and explodes, that means the point of impact would be at the start of the formation, and the radius just gonna cover like half the unit. So yeah, very nice deployment here. But if the Exploder Squakes or the Super Squakes goes in from the flank, then it'll still do normal damage. But that is a lot more hassle to go through, and will make the explosions less effective. And yeah, that's it for the army builds. Let's just see the explosive wah go on. Chaos Warhounds jumping in, trying to get the Super Squakes to explode earlier, but that should be fine. Almost delete the entire units of the Exploder Squake, but they triggered another explosions. And as you can see here, the explosions hitting the start of the formation doesn't really penetrate that far, and only very minor damage dealt, despite all the Super Squakes being blown up. There are a couple Goblin Archers at the back though, so they can probably try and pepper down the Marauders. Okay, this is where the flank hit comes in pretty nicely. Goes in from the flank, delete half a unit. That is what they should have done at the beginning. But alas, that did not happen, and a couple super squigs got wasted. The goblin archers are shooting in, but they're not doing that much damage. Vindictive Glare trying to snipe out the corn bikes, but these corn bikes can indeed heal up as they engage in melee, so the magic damage is not going to be that effective considering that they do have spell resistance of 25%. The Orc War Boss is jumping in with the help of all those, what's in the fray? All those Orc Chariots, but the Orc Chariots are getting hacked down by Minotaurs. Yeah, they don't really have an answer to the Minotaurs other than to try to swarm them with the Savage Orc War Boy Bacons. One of them is getting hunted down by the Savage Orc Warboy Bacons. The one of the Blood Shrines is getting hunted down by the Savage Orc Warboy Bacons. And now it's just a big charge from everything from the Greenskins. Unfortunately, though, the Orc Board Chariots are absolutely trash and has been mostly dealt with. Scarbrand charge into combat, fighting the Orc War Boss, trying to get a good fight, and the Orc War Boss is absolutely getting wrecked in the process. Not much he can do about it against one of the strongest melee monster in the game. Well, strongest, it has a question mark followed up, yeah, it is still very strong and way heavier class than the War Boss can challenge. So yeah, the War Boss got wrecked. The cavalry got wrecked by a combination of Blood Lancers and Minotaurs with great weapons. Goblin archers trying their best to shoot, but that's not gonna do too much here. And the Savage Orc lines are gonna be done for, especially with the explosive squakes just kind of getting wrecked early. I mean, wasted away early. So not much to be said about this fight in terms of tactic wise, other than the super squake not able to get too much damage. And the rest of the army just try to YOLO themselves into a corn army that outclasses them in every single trade. And yeah, unfortunately, that's gonna be the defeat of Ian Zero. Bavrat will be moving on to the next stage as well. Okay, so next battle. We'll be going through most of the regular rounds, and then we'll do the losers bracket, and then we'll be going to the finals afterwards. So next round, round 2. This one is Pegas versus Sipa. So it's Lucyna Marzek, the tournament host himself, versus Sipa. And look at the trebuchets. Look at the trebuchets. Okay, this is probably they just kind of give up on fruit rules, because we have like 7 trebuchets. 3 of them, the ladies bathwater edition, and yeah, also 3 spellcasters, 2 damsels of Beast, and then another, I assume, the prophetess of Beast as well, just trying to deny healing for the Bretonnian army. And the rest of the army here, now remember, a lot of these units, over 6,800 gold worth of units are picked by their opponent, so it is a lot of the unoptimal units are picked by Lucyna himself. Anyways, other than a trebuchet, we have the Knights of Lionhearted, more normal options now, trying to get those magic damage into the army and run down the demons of chaos. Grail Knights as well, and Knights of the Realm on the other side. What spells do they have, I do wonder. Wizen's Wild Form, Curse of Onra Air. No Flock of Doom. That is surprising indeed. But they do have... one of the damsel did bring in a Power Stone to get a bit more magic recharge. In the front line, a ton of peasants, men-at-arms, peasant mobs, and that's about it for the army of Bretonnia. For the Demons of Chaos, we have a Blood Reaper, double Blood Reaper supporting a Herald of Corn. Now, theoretically, it is actually a pretty sizable melee forces, and especially against a all Castelord Bretonnian army. They probably can try and hunt down the Bretonnian leadership. As for the support here, 3 Flamers, they do have 50 speed, so decent-ish fast. Oh, another Exalted Flamer as well, trying to use the cover of forest and advance to the formations of Bretonnia. They know that they cannot challenge the Bretonnians in a melee fight, only having some blue horrors and a ton more of screamers in the skies, Chaos Furies, and Yeah, that's basically most of their units. And also, oh, I saw a Blood Shrine. But then, yeah, they need to figure out some way to deal with the mass peasants. They probably, yeah, they don't really have any answers against the Bretonnian cavalry right now, while the trebuchets are mostly wasted on things they can't see. Well, they can't really shoot into this little forest here because all the units are hidden, and the blue horrors of Tinge are just staying far back and not wanting to get hit by trebuchets at all. The Bathwater trebuchets do have that magic damage and can be a bit more effective against the demons. Some of the lucky hits also striking units in the skies and taking down quite a few screamers. Using the sheer numbers advantage, there are no peasant archers, so even if the screamers get close, they will not be hit by anti-air fire other than the largely inaccurate trebuchets. And they're free to just dive down, I believe, but they decided not to do that. Probably just trying to conserve their forces as the cavalry of Bretonnia are just hiding out there. But big mistake here. Knights of Lionhearted YOLO'd themselves into the Flamers of Tinge here, but then all the Blood Reapers are coming in to support. There are other Flamers available to crossfire into the fray. One of the Flamers have been eliminated by the Knights of the Realm. They are able to just move on to the other one, but they are kind of left aside, now being free to get blasted by the Flamers. The Flamers, though, unable to get a good aim because the aiming mechanic in this game is still quite problematic, unable to actually aim at the center of the target. Instead, they aim at their heads. So some of these shots just go overboard and not actually hitting anything. Anyways, the Knights of the Realm will be surrounding the Exalted Flamer and try to whittle him down with those charge attacks. And one secured unit of Flamers, actually two of them, in fact, will continue to move out to the front. Oh, there are some foot squires trying to fight a Blood Shrine. Very unfortunate for them. That's not gonna end up too well here, even with the Prophetess support, because the Blood Shrine just grinds through infantry like nobody else's business, and also it has anti-large, anti-infantry, and also it has physical resistance and healing. A lot of stuff available for it to just keep itself alive in a melee grind against infantry, while the infantry is just doing very limited damage. On the side there, all these demon aerial units are diving down onto enemy artillery, trying to shut them down, but right now, not all of them are shut down yet. A couple of them is still secured. One of them is in the process of being hacked down by Furies. And yeah, although the triple single entity core from the demon side, it will be extremely tough for the Bretonnians to kill because a lot of their balance of power is occupied by the few trebuchets, especially with the ammo. But without the few trebuchets, they can't really do much against the Demons of Chaos army, especially when the few trebuchets will probably do more friendly fire than actual damage against the Blood Reaper hero and the Exalted Blood, the Herald of Corn Lord. So yeah, right now these single entities are just rampaging through the Bretonnian lines, and in the far side there, peasant mobs have been invested, pushing up, trying to hunt down the Flamers of Tinge. These Knights of the Lionhearted once again getting forgotten in the forest, unable to actually pursue any enemy units, and will be just sitting there taking the shots from the Exalted Flamers. Knights of the Realm here has hunted down all the Flamer units, but the problem is still the Blood Reapers. Wait, what happened to the Grail Knight? I did not catch that. They took a lot of damage for some reason, probably I suspect being swarmed by Screamers or something. But yeah, they took a lot of damage and not doing much in return. Something must have happened there and I totally missed it. Okay, we'll do a bit of replay again later and just check what happened to the Grail Knights, as they are almost dead. Without the Grail Knights carrying the game, I do believe that Bretonnians are pretty helpless here, as the single entity is just fighting through everything that their opponents are throwing at them. Blood Shrine's still alive, just kind of like chilling with the healing. But the thing is that it'll be hacked down for sure, but it's still the triple single entities. There's no solution. There's no good solution for this from the Bretonnian side. So yeah, the single entities are hacking down Bretonnian units one after the other. The Grail Knights are Wait, what happened here? Ah. Okay, never mind. The Grail Knights with their anti-large armor piercing and magic actually managed to managed to defeat the Demons of Chaos as the damage starts mounting on the Blood Reapers. I am indeed wrong. I blame it on being tired from work, but yeah, I am indeed wrong. The Flamers getting compromised is a heavy blow to the Demons of Chaos army, I do believe. Do call me wrong about that. Yeah. So, the tattered as they are, the Grail Knights have managed to carry the game. Okay, yeah, no. Wait, 7 trebuchets is legal? No, what the hell? No, wow. Okay, I am indeed wrong about a lot of things this time. But yeah, not if something went illegal and yeah, if something went illegal but not reported, we usually just let it go. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, Pegasus. Lucyna did indeed get swarmed by Grail Knights in the end, carrying it. But yeah, forcing your opponents to play with 7 trebuchets, brilliant job. It is indeed glorious. Unfortunately, the Blood Reapers and Herald of Corn are countered hard by the Ladies Chosen. The Grail Knights indeed carry the game in the end. But what happened to them? Why did they take so much damage in the early game? I am not quite sure. Ooh, one of the Furies got a lot of damage. Probably from taking down the trebuchets. But yeah, okay, let's just go through the replay again just to see what happened to the Grail Knights. I thought the single entities can tank it out, but I guess the Grail Knights is just too strong. Too strong. Okay, cool. Let's just go through that. We wait. And then we're just gonna start speeding through the game. Alright, let's speed through this so that we can see what happened to the Grail Cavalry. Okay, the Grail Cavalry is here. Screamer is getting shot hard, so I don't assume they're gonna do too much damage here. Oh, okay. The Shrieking Sky Rays might just come in for a bombardment, but not sure. They have an explosive ability, but I still don't know how that works. Screamers, yeah, just a ton of Screamers charging onto Grail Knights who can't counter-charge, and there's no healing. Ah, right, that makes sense. A ton of Screamers charging in. Wison's Wild Form trying to keep them alive and dish out the damage back, but then the armor doesn't do anything against the armor piercing of the Screamers, and the Screamers is just cutting them down. Okay, Curse of Armor Air lowering their melee stats, trying to keep the fight in the Bretonians' favor, but they're just too much anti-large armor piercing, and the Grail Knights are forced to take damage. Makes sense, makes sense. GG. Hotfix seems to have messed up the replays. Oh. Did it? Okay. It might have. It might have. After we've been through like multiple patches of hotfix, I do apologize for waiting for so long before casting this game, but I will. Unfortunately, I do. Wait, when did they play? Yeah, they're like 2-3 weeks ago, but yeah. Yeah, so I do apologize about that. Unfortunately, I don't really have the time to cast. Very sad. Okay, anyways, Dark Elves here, 2 Doomfire Warlocks, and oh, they're being forced to bring Doomfire Warlocks, 2 Assassins, Kena Assassin, and a Beastmaster, plus a Feral Mammoth. Oh, is that? Are these wolves? Feral wolves or something? Now that would be interesting. Okay, so let's see. What actually are the wolves? Giant wolves. Okay. These are High Beastmaster, Crows of Cain, Witch Elves, and Blackout Corsairs. A ton of Blackout Corsairs. Kena Assassin. Where are the Witch Elves? I remember seeing their icon somewhere. Wait, where are the Witch Elves? Which elves? There we go. Now, for the Dwarf army, once again being forced to bring Lord and Double Master Engineer, denying them from any access of ruins. And in the skies, Gyrocopters again, and a couple Slayers. And wait, I guess all the investments went into the Gyrocopters, plus the Lord, and oh, Longbeards. Warriors of Dragon Firepower. I don't think this is a bad Dwarf army, honestly, but yeah, we'll see what happens here as the Furies. No, I've been too stuck on Furies in the last game. Crows of Cain pushing the Gyrocopters alongside the High Beastmaster. The High Beastmaster does have a very good tool, the Tormentor Sword. If they get close enough, they can lock down enemy units and preventing them from maneuvering away. But right now, yeah, things are not in their favor just yet, because the Gyrocopters do have enough speed to keep ahead of the High Beastmaster. Bleak Swords moving in, but they're just gonna get welcomed by blasting charges. Same goes for the Black Corsairs. They might have armor, but 80 is not enough to mitigate all those blasting charges. Damage is dealt both to Dwarves and Druchii, but with less armor on the Druchii side, they are indeed taking more damage, despite both sides getting blasted. Even the Witch Elves taking substantial damage. Now, the Gyrocopters are caught by a counter push from the Crows of Cain. A big miss opportunity there. Probably could have used the Tormentor Sword to lock down the Gyrocopters, while the Crows of Cain continue to hack through the HP of the Gyrocopters. In the front line, though, with the blasting charges, all the Dark Elf forces are faltering hard. The Feral Manticore is indeed fighting, but that is not gonna get hold on for too long with the Slayers joining the fight, especially with the light armor on all the Dark Elf forces. The Feral Mammoth and the Doomfire Warlocks, they are gonna take a lot of damage. Master Engineer moving to a flanking, to a side position here, trying to move back, but the Kena Assassin might just be able to assassinate them. But yeah, not sure if this is misplay here, but I mean, they are still kind of trading shots and whatnot. In the skies there, Crows of Cain are indeed having the Feast of Crows. When they're fighting, they recharge their hit points, making them a little bit tankier than your usual Harpies. In the front line there, Doomfire Warlocks rampaging through a bit of the Dwarf infantry line and somehow managed to stabilize the front line for a bit here. Black Corsairs continue to fight, while the miners with blasting charges over here not quite using their blasting charges, being caught up by enemy melee units. And yeah, Crows of Cain continue to chase after the Gyrocopters, preventing them from shooting. And even if they try to turn and shoot, they are just going to get caught up by the Crows of Cain and will be subjected to melee damage. More of the Master Engineer has returned to keep firing at the High Beastmaster, who doesn't have any healing whatsoever. There's no Lore of Soul Stealer today. And yeah, the High Beastmaster is really feeling the pain. Now, the Kena Assassin actually hides in the forest. Not sure if this is a misplay or if it's just a replay screwing up. Anyways, most of the battle, I do think... Oh, well, it is going quite evenly. I'm not sure if... yeah. This fight has been going a bit back and forth. I mean... Oh, anyways, Crows of Cain continue to chase down the Gyrocopters, and the front line for the Dwarves are slowly being grind out, actually. Slayers fighting against Black Corsairs is absolutely horrible for them. The armor tank out mitigates the damage from the Slayers, while the Slayers will be subjected to all the anti-infantry bonus from the Black Corsairs. Doomfire Warlocks and Giant Wolves are also fighting in the fray, and the Slayers are just taking more and more damage. Unfortunately, though, for the Dark Elves, the Feral Mammoth has been routed off, but there are still plenty of mobility left for them. Trying to do some cycle charging into the remaining Dwarf forces, but the Longbeards are holding just fine with their heavy armor. Even after the Soul Blight armor reduction, still having 70 armor and are actually tanking out the damage. But yeah, Gyros are continuously being hunted down. Some of them are really down to less HP now, but their Brimstone guns are still not going to do much against the 80 armor plus that missile resistance. And they're just getting eaten up bit by the High Beastmaster. Now the two Kena Assassins are fighting back to back in the forest. The Lord plus a bunch of Dwarf infantry are trying to like trade against them. A bit of dragons Black Dragon's Egg, I believe. Was it called Black Dragon's Egg? Yeah, let me just check. Ooh, the Canine Assassin actually has immune to... yeah, Black Dragon Egg. The Canine Assassin actually has immune to psychology, which is pretty nice thing I did not notice before. Anyways, Doomfire Warlocks charging into the fray here. They need to pull out because the Slayers are here and they're going to take a lot of damage. Speaking of damage, there's a bunch of friendly fire from the gyrocopters shooting into the fray here. And might just hurt the Slayers too much, so they're just switching targets. Black Arquebuses have been grinding through tons of Dwarf infantry, but not getting that much damage. These ones are doing better here, getting over 100 kills, but yeah. Their lack of armor piercing do hurt them against a heavily armored infantry faction like the Dwarves. Even if they have the anti-infantry bonus, it's not too effective. And yeah. All these Doomfire Warlocks slamming into the miners, but the miners do tank out the damage with their heavy armor. And yeah. Steam guns are shooting, really trying to shoot down the High Beast Master, but honestly, the Master Engineer fighting back would be way more effective with their armor-piercing attacks, in both melee and ranged. But yeah, Feral Mammoth fighting Slayers, and are there any forgotten units on the far side? They are coming back. They're coming back, returning. These Longbeards probably have shattered in the original replay, maybe, perhaps, not sure. But they're just not getting commanded. No, they're coming back. They're coming back. So yeah, they're just normal routing away. Anyways, the Canine Assassin has been fighting in this little forest for way too long, but just not doing much damage here, being surrounded by a ton of other enemy infantry. High Beast Master finally almost finished hunting down the gyrocopters. These ones down to the last two models, and these ones are... Well, unfortunately for... yeah, these ones are also down to the last bit of HP. Unfortunately for the High Beast Master, the engineers are still pretty much healthy and are free to shoot their armor-piercing missiles. The fight, in terms of balance of power, is quite even for now. But yeah. The High Beast Master is getting hit by the gyrocopters in even melee combat. They're not even shooting now. They're just fighting in melee. While the Canine Assassin trying to provide a bit of fire support, but unfortunately too much Dwarf infantry, too many tin cans, and they don't have the armor piercing to fight through them. Yeah, Doomfire Warlocks and Witch Elves continue to fight. But at this point, I don't know if I really don't think well, I'm thinking whether the Dwarves have enough juice to grind through the Dark Elves, since there are still still quite a bit of Black Arquebuses in the fight. So I don't know. The Canine Assassins do still have a bit of a missile pressure left, but the Dwarf Lord is going after them, trying to hunt them down. They are running fast and will be leaving the Lord to eat dust. On the far side here, Master Engineer getting broken by the Black Arquebuses, and things are not looking too great for the Dwarf so far at this point. Wait, no, not looking too good. Yeah, not looking too good for the Dwarfs at this point. The Canine Assassins continue to kite and just keep shooting at the Dwarf Lord, while the Black Arquebuses will come down and cut down whatever's left on the Dowie side. We'll be doing a bit of fast forward here as the Beast Lord still hunting down the gyrocopters, almost finished the last unit, but before that he routed. And the once the Beastmaster got routed, there's not a lot of mobile pressure for the Dark Elves anymore. And now the Bleak Swords are surrounded, Black Arquebuses are routed, and the Dwarves' sheer stubbornness, their tenacity, it might just be able to help them pull out this victory. Anyway, Doomfire Warlocks coming back probably for one last YOLO charge. And indeed, this is probably the last YOLO charge. Black Dragon's Egg blasting through some of the remaining infantry of the Dowie, but alas, all the rest of the infantry got grind down, and that's gonna be the end. It's gonna be the end for this battle. And yeah, Nurgle's PA will be moving on to the next stage, while Bavrat will go in to the losers bracket, I believe. Yes, that is what happened in the tournament itself. We will be going through a bit of the army values here. Yeah, the lack of armor piercing really hurts the Dark Elves right now, other than the Feral Manticore yeah, Feral Manticore did some minor damage. Like not, I don't think that's enough to recover its value, but yeah, Black Orc Assist did okay. They do have a pretty good trade against other infantry units, but the thing is that there's just too much armor and they don't have enough armor piercing. Same goes for the Witch Elves, which suffers even harder because they themselves don't have any armor to mitigate incoming damage. High Beast Master got some pretty good damage done. Probably could have used the Tormentor Sword more frequently, but yeah, I didn't really manage to catch the moment they used the item, so yeah, unfortunately. And yeah, the rest of the army not doing too much damage overall. For the Dawi units here, I think the carry of the game is definitely the Slayers, cutting down the Feral Manticore and the Doomfire Warlocks. The rest of the army not. Ooh, the Longbeards, this one held forever, grinding through the HP of the 2 assassins, I believe. The rest of the army not doing so much other than the blasting charges melting the Dark Elf infantry unit. And next up, it will be the 3rd round, which we only have 1 battle, and then it's gonna be the finals, which is a combination of losers bracket final, like the winner of the losers bracket and the winner of this match. Oh, whoa, the non-friendly fire mortars from the Empire side and 3 more mortar wagons. This is a bit hilarious. And a ton of missiles for Free Company Militia, 1 huntsman, and tons of spears for the rest of the units. I do believe this is against foot rules as well, having 6 spears units, 2 of them with shields. I don't think that's I believe that is not supposed to be. Yeah, I don't think that's foot rules legal. I don't think. But anyways, on the Nurgle side, going for a full frog build, almost full frog build, but very mobile for sure. 4 regular frogs, the Plague Toads of Nurgle, 3 Pox Riders, 1 Chaos Warhound of Poison, 3 Axe and Shield Nurgle Cavalry, Nurgle Knights, and a Nurgle Lord, Sorcerer Lord of Death. For the Empire here, 7 mortars, 3 mortar wagons, and 4 non-friendly fire mortars. And yeah, we've been through most of the army here, and we'll just go look at the Lord Archlector. No magic support at all, just trying to get the Lore of Sigmar, coming in with the Mace of coming in with Grand Shield of Faith and Soul Fire Bombardment, also Grand Hammer of Sigmar. He also has the Imbuement of Flaming Attacks with the Mace of Hellstorm. And that's it for the army build. Not sure which is gonna win though. But the mortars are coming in, but are doing very minor damage against the enemy cavalry. The damage from mortars come mostly from the explosive damage, and against cavalry, yeah, that's not a lot of hits. The hits from the explosive damage are rather minor, plus they're heavily armored, so not much damage as well. Yeah, a lot of damage mitigation from the heavy armor, and then yeah, as you can see here, damage is just not that much. Plus the mortars don't have the greatest accuracy, so very unfortunate for them. That's not gonna help too much. Ooh, a big loss for the Empire here. Chaos Warhound managed to jump on top of some of these artillery and missiles, although the Free Company Militia are turning around to start shooting at them. They're taking a lot of damage right now. Okay, actually not as much as I thought, but with the Soulfire Bombardment dropping in and the crossfire from the Free Company Militia, they are quickly routed. But the problem for the Empire is that they don't really have that kind of armor piercing to handle all these armored units. The Chaos Knights are charging, and they are taking relatively minor damage considering how much investments are dumped onto them. All these mortar shots and missile fire, but they're still kind of fighting and at half health. Don't forget they also have Fecundity available as a Nurgle faction. So yeah, while the Empire don't really have any healing, and the Archlector will get drained by Spirit Leech. All the Plague Toads are jumping in, the Frog Cavalry as well, trying to overload this side of the box. And at this point, the Chaos Knights have successfully broke off the two of the Susan's guns, as they are just deep inside the Empire box, and there's not really much to stop them. Nothing to protect their flanks other than the war wagons, but the war wagons are no melee units and can't actually stop a cavalry charge. And at this point, I do think that it is probably a Nurgle victory. As the Empire box is largely compromised, all the missile units are on the run. Most, if not all, actually, or on the verge of on the run. You can see some of these free commando militia is already being routed, unable to fight back. These are also on the edge of routing. Mortar crew, 2 of them is gone. The 3rd one is almost about to go. Yep, it's just going. And Archlector is trying to fight back, but alas, that is a futile attempt. He is constantly being drained by Spirit Leech and also surrounded by armor-piercing combatants, and will be hacked down by the Plague Toads and Pox Riders. And yeah, you can see that the Empire box is just collapsing from one flank, being hard pushed by a ton of frogs on one side, meaning that the investments on this side cannot fight back against the enemy's push. Yeah, it's just a very standard tactic of flank overload. I'm pretty sure everyone knows it around here. Anyways, we have more Spirit Leech coming in. Grand Hammer of Sigma trying to fight back, but that is probably it. All the missile units are indeed being pushed away, and the mortars, while still able to fire, are not doing much damage. Some of them are even firing in the forest, the shots hitting the trees in front of them. And I will be going fast forward right now as the Plague Toads, Pox Riders are slowly but surely grinding through the remaining Empire troops. And that's gonna be it. Lore of Spirit Leech is still one of the best spells in the game because of how cost efficient they are. Anyways, alright. Hotfix patches. I suppose this screws over the replay, so we can't actually check the damage value. So yeah, in the end, we have the Nurgle army, Pegas, winning the fight. Wait, no. Yeah. Wait, what were we watching? Oh, this is Losers Bracket game 2. Nah, that's fine. So we have Pegas, aka Lucyna, winning this fight in particular, with Saber's Ragnar being defeated as his mortars can't actually fight back properly against a almost full cavalry. Well, that is a full mobility army. Anyways, third round, the game in the third round, SIPA versus RTK's Nurgle's PA. We have a lot of Gorehurts plus a giant and a couple manticores fighting against the High Elves. Morgar the Shadowgave leading the army. No magic, surprising enough, and there are no other units to occupy the hero slot. Same goes for the other side here. Nurgle's PA going for the Anarian build, perhaps, maybe, might be not. But anyways, 3 monsters, 2 Great Eagles, and 1. Oh, okay. Because of the single entities on the field, they are actually unable to field more single entities. So that is, yeah, so they can't actually use magic because of the single entity limit. So yeah, both sides can't actually bring magic because they have brought enough single entities. 2 Great Eagles on this side here, plus a Flame Spy Phoenix, and then a Prince with nothing on him. Just going naked, trying to spam more units here with 5 Lothern Sea Gods with shields, and 4 more Eagle Claw Bolters at the back. Okay, the Great Eagle, Flame Spy Phoenix, and the Eagle Claw Bolters are probably the picks of their opponent here, aka SIPA. So Nurgle's PA going for a missile-heavy army. Unfortunate for them, as they are going to get rushed by a ton of Beastmen with a ton of Gorehurts leading the way. Giant, and then double Feral Manticore and a Morgar the Shadowgave. No magic on both sides, and yeah, let's just get the battle started. There are some spears guarding some of these Eagle Claw Bolters and also the Keepers of the Flame, but I don't know how effective they're gonna be when there's a ton of Gorehurts rushing forward, and they're pretty good in their melee trait. So especially with the Primal Fury, boosting up their aggressive attack stats, offensive stats, and they should be able to just wreck the Lucyna on the charge. Of course, provided that they don't get wrecked on the way in with all those arrow fire. They don't have shield, so yeah, they're gonna get shredded if they get hit by missiles. Anyways, Eagle Clubholders continues to fight, continues to fire at the Beastman monster, but Butchers of Kalkengard down to 30 models and took a lot of damage. But the thing is, that bought enough time for the rest of the mobility and infantry to just move in and start silencing the Eagle Clubbolt forward. There are not much to fight back from the High Elf side, and the Hounds are able to just jump in and chill through all these Eagle Clubbolt forwards. Flamespire Phoenix and the Great Eagles are trying their best to fight in the fray, but they just can't stop the Hounds from moving from target to target. Already, the High Elves are in a big disadvantage as all their artillery has been hit and are offline. Even the ones that are not routed are constantly being pressured right now and are unable to fire peacefully. These ones are getting hunted down by the Gorehordes and will not be around for long. Eagle Clubble for these ones are still fighting, are still shooting, but then the Gorehordes are here to shut them down. Butchers of Kalkengard slowly regenerating HP, still having 12 models and are at around half health. They have plenty to regenerate. Morgan the Shadowgave have summoned a Chaos Spawn in the middle of a bunch of Loven Sea Guard. Not that the Chaos Spawn is needed anywhere else, so I guess might as well just throw in the monsters and start hacking down, just pummeling the High Elf fragile infantry. Their armor isn't that much at 40, so they'll still take a lot of damage when fighting the Chaos Spawns. Chaos Spawns, they will be dying anyway, so you don't really care about damage on them. Now for the Flamespire Phoenix, it is indeed still fighting. Perhaps it has the Attune to Magic boosting its... Wait, does it have anything to boost it now? No, yeah, indeed. The word save from the Attune to Magic having a lot of magic in the tank right now. Giving it a little bit more tankiness, but that is probably not going to help it against the Butchers of Kalkengard having very good melee stats and high weapon strength. In the skies here, the Feral Manticore is winning against the Great Eagle. The Great Eagle is absolutely pathetic melee monster, and the Feral Manticore is getting a pretty good trade against it, though the Flamespire Phoenix is here to help and will be breaking the Manticore. The problem is that the Keepers of the Flame, despite trying their best to fight, they are getting overwhelmed a bit, and there's no healing support. So whatever HP they have is pretty much final. And with all the Minotaurs with great weapons, with the armor piercing, the giant Eve coming in as well, and then being overwhelmed by Ungors and Gors, they will eventually be worked down. Balance of Power is against the High Elves. Phoenix trying their best to just poop fire and blast away the Beastman forces, but I'm afraid that's not going to be enough. The Prince is surrounded by enemy units, trying his best to fight his way out, but against a bunch of Chaos Spawns and infantry and Morgar the Shadowgave. Even if Morgar isn't the best melee fighter, it will still... yeah, he will still get grind down eventually, although a very nice maneuver from the Flamespire Phoenix pooped a bunch of fire onto some of these Gorehordes and Gorehordes here. And then the Phoenix dropped in with the terror on the monster. The Ungors were temporarily routed, but alas, that is just too little too late, unable to turn the battle around. And that means Sipa, with his overwhelming force of Beastmen, will be moving on to the finals. You can see that the damage isn't that great everywhere, but the Feral Manticore did get some good trade into the Great Eagles and beat down some of these artillery. But yeah, the Hounds definitely got some pretty solid value, routing unit after unit of Eagle Club throwers. And that's basically it for this one battle. Oh, Minotaurs got some good damage charging into the Phoenix Gods. Yeah. The Phoenix Gods got some good damage being surrounded on all sides, but still fought back valiantly, but just not enough to carry the game. Prince and the Flamespire Phoenix also fought okay. Not like the greatest fight, but still fought okay. And unfortunately, though, the Loven Sea God being overwhelmed by the melee troops of the Beastmen means that a lot of their missiles are wasted and not able to contribute to the balance of power, losing the High Elves the game. So we still have 3 more battles from the losers bracket. We've seen this one before. Okay, double Exalted Hero of Khorne. So full melee Lord picks again. This time against the Grand Cathay army. Oh god, no! I feel bad for for the Warriors of Chaos. Most likely not gonna win with these warriors. They are trying to do an artillery fight with the Soul of Damnation. Yeah, but against Grand Cathay with their superior range, I doubt the single constantly missing Hell Cannon after the aiming got fucked over in this Total War Warhammer 3. Hell Cannons have been missing way more and just constantly not hitting for shit. But yeah, like the missiles are constantly overshooting because they're not aiming at the center of the unit but aiming at the heads of the center of the unit. So it just floats over the unit and hit something at the back or just falls short. Anyways, for the army builds here, we have for Chaos Pharaoh Manticore, a bunch of Siege Marauders of Spears. Very wise choice here, using an inferior marked Chaos marked units, and just occupying the marked slots, preventing their opponents from getting actual good marked units. So 2 Chaos Exalted Heroes of Khorne and the Chaos Lord, and a ton of Chaos Knights leading the way. And in this guy's Chaos Pharaoh Manticore and Soul of Damnation, a couple Forsaken as well for a bit more melee power for the Grand Cathay army. A ton of the solid line of a solid box of Cathay, having the Jade Warriors and the Spears all enjoying harmony. Do note that the War Drums do provide harmonies to the rest of the army, so yeah, it provides both harmony too. So yeah, all these Cathay units are enjoying harmony for sure, having boosted melee stats. And in the skies here, the Onyx Crowmen are moving out. Iron Hail Gunners welcoming the Chaos Pharaoh Manticore with a hail of iron. Well, yeah. Anyways, Hell Cannon actually got some hits on one of the... Oh, actually it's hitting now. Hitting the Iron Hail Gunners now. But yeah, the firing rockets are doing massive damage onto the Chaos Knights with their explosive damage, just hitting everything in the vicinity. Hell Cannon's getting good shots again, and one of the Iron Hail Cannons have been routed, and the other one is just kind of distracted by the Chaos Pharaoh Manticore for a bit. The Chaos Knights are moving towards the flank, trying to shut down the Cathay missile units, but they do need to invest some forces to shut down these firing rockets. One of them got YOLO'd into the Jade Warriors, and they are just getting grind down in the melee fight. Forsaken smash into the Jade Warriors, despite being hundreds more expensive, they are just not getting good trade here, being shot by the peasant archers. The Sky Lantern is shooting from the skies as well, providing some nice armor-piercing fire. One of the firing rockets are almost dealt with. Actually, they have been dealt with. I think all the artillery models have been shut down. Yeah, all the nope. There are still a few on the site. There are still a few standing, but then they are kind of interrupted by the Chaos Cavalry and will be forced to pull out of this engagement. Balance of power is against Chaos though, as a lot of their forces are just being grind down by the quality Cathay units. Not that they're expensive or anything, they're just way better at fighting. Like, yeah, Peasant Long Spears can hold for long against the Forsaken, despite Forsaken supposed to counter the Peasant Long Spears. Anyways, Chaos are actually fighting back a bit. I think they are pulling a bit back on the balance of power, but still, things are still looking quite dire for them. They are trying their best to cycle charge into the enemy units, but the firing rockets will be raining fire upon them, and the damage will be substantial if they don't like separate this blob and go after the firing rockets at the back. But anyways, the Celestial General is getting hacked down hard by all the exalted heroes. One of them has taken a lot of damage, but the rest, the Chaos Lord and the exalted hero over here are fighting just fine, having that anti-infantry bonus with their dual wielding sword and a ton of buffs boosting their melee stats right now. Potion of Toughness even. Getting that heal is really key here. To just sustain their HP and keep fighting. I do think that not routing off the Celestial General might be a mistake here, as he might just be come back for a second try. And more importantly, he will provide that leadership. He will not be providing that leadership debuff if he is still standing and fighting. Anyways, most of the Grand Cafe melee troops on this side have been dealt with, and the mobility finally are able to just move in and run down the rest of the Cafe missiles. Onyx Commando trading very cost efficiently against everything, since they do have very solid melee stats. Now 42 melee attack, 42 melee defense, all thanks to 1 Chevron plus Harmony from the surrounding units, I believe. Yeah, there are still the Peasant Archers providing Harmony despite being shattered. And yeah, some of these Cafe missiles are being compromised, but I do suspect that the Cafe Infantry and Onyx Crowman have enough steam to grind through the rest of the Chaos units. Don't quote me on this though, because my predictions have not been great tonight. I just blame it on being tired, but yeah. Anyways, so the rest of the Chaos units are chasing after the routed missiles from the Cafe side. But unfortunately for them, some of them are indeed running out of steam. They are compromising some of these missile units, but the sheer numbers of Cafe once again might just be a bit too much for them. The Celestial General is also back, enjoying some of that bastion of great cities from the Zhanggu War Drum. And yeah, the Cafe units are suddenly getting tankier in the fight now with the additional armor. The Marauders of Siege finally moving into the fight after being held in deep reserve, providing a bit more infantry support for the Chaos units. But yeah, the Chaos Knights are faltering, and the Onyx Crowman can trade efficiently against them, eventually just routing them off the battlefield. Some Forsaken has returned as well, chasing after the Peasant Archers, who is buffed by the disdain of the Dragon Empire. Same goes for the rest of the Cafe units nearby, helping them do a bit more damage to the Chaos units. But right now, very nice and skillful play from the Chaos side. Just holding those Tinge Spears in reserve, and that is exactly what they are needing right now in the late game. Although the Peasant Archers over here has been regrouped and will be providing a bit more missile support. And now more spears are coming in to just try to silence them down. Celestial General probably should be finished for good here, but there are no units very good at chasing down a single entity right now. The Chaos Knights are fighting and getting a lot of damage done, but they need to pull out as the rest of the Cafe troops are coming in to support and try to grind them down. Onyx Crowman also finished chasing after the other Chaos Knight and are now surrounding the Exalted Hero and whatnot. Now the Chaos Knights are going after the Celestial General, and the single entities here are doing a bit of kiting. It is fine for Fruit Rules because they do have units chasing after a routed unit, but now the routed unit is dead and shattered and dead, giving the Cafe units a bit of a leadership penalty and bringing the Warriors of Chaos a little bit of chance to come back in this game. Unfortunately, I don't know what they can do right now. Oh wait, no, the Sky Lantern is completely out of ammo. The only purpose it now has is provide harmony buffs, which is quite obsolete because the Jungle War Drum is providing the exact same thing. Jade Warriors are fighting around the Jungle War Drum, enjoying that additional melee defense and attack buff. Especially that melee attack buff. Stacked with the okay, let's just check this. Jade Warriors stacked with the Harmony buff. They are now having 37 attack, 42 melee defense, basically a super elite unit in the melee grind. But the Chaos Lord do have the blessing of a dead opponent Lord, so the Jade Warriors might just hold less long in this kind of fight. But anyways, the Warriors of Chaos are busy chasing off routed units, making sure they don't come back to provide any more missile support. Although the Onyx Crowman trying to chase down the Chaos Lord, but then the Chaos Cavalry countercharge and will be breaking the Onyx Crowman. Jade Warrior is trying valiantly to fight back, but I do think that Chaos has this one right now, as the only things that are remaining for the Cavalry army are the Jade the Jade War Drum, which is not a great melee combatant, and a Sky Lantern, which is absolutely can't fight on the ground at all. And yeah, just to end everyone's suffering early, the Nurgle army decided the Cathay army decided to admit defeat, and I said Nurgle army because, well, Nurgle's PA is playing the Cathay army. So for the damage value, the Sky Lantern actually earned its cost back because it was able to just sit up there in the skies and constantly dishing out DPS with the crane guns. Onyx Crowman, as usual, a very solid unit a very versatile and solid unit. I just hope that somebody like limits the Onyx Crowman to 2 per army, especially I think that's the updated. That's going to be in the updated fruit rules. As the Onyx Crowman is just a flying elite infantry. The stat lines actually outmatches a lot of the regular infantry at the same cost price level. They just trade well, honestly. Anyways, the missiles not doing a lot of damage, being compromised by various melee units from the Warriors of Chaos side, including the Chaos Knight, Forsaken, some of these Manticore, and some of these single entities, the Heroes and Lord. So not a lot of damage value, but peasant long spears with their anti-large and superior melee stats, all thanks to the harmony buffs and the Jungle War Drum boosting their melee attack stats, they were able to grind a lot more efficiently against the Chaos Knights, who also got a lot of damage done. Unfortunately, just not able to carry the game as the rest of them. Wait, holy hell, these guys did a lot of damage. Just that the single entities not having a good time grinding through melee infantry, and the rest of the army not doing too much. Yeah, the Soul of Damnation absolutely not doing what it's supposed to do. And yeah, very unfortunate. Wait, for some reason I do believe that the Warriors of Chaos have more damage dealt, maybe? Yeah, I guess a few of these underperforming units cost the Chaos the game, especially the Exalted Heroes of Khorne. While the super cheap but cost efficient, the cheap but cost efficient Jade Warriors actually outtraded their opponent. 3 of them earned back their value and some. Oh, not these one. 2 of them earned back their value and some more. And the other 3 also did some pretty good damage. Iron Hail Gunners still not doing that much damage, but they're quite cheap anyways. And mostly the Onyx Crowman carrying the game alongside the Long Spears and Sky Lantern. So, let us just keep an eye on the chat so that we don't forget too much stuff. Bro, Chaos 1, nothing cost them. Oh, wait. What? Did I set cost them the game? Oh, shit. My bad. Oh, my brain is farting hard now. Sorry. Chaos 1. Wait, why did I think Cathay won? What the? Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My brain was not functioning well right now. Sorry about that. Exalted Heroes, they didn't carry the weight, but damn, what was I thinking? The Chaos Knights were doing a lot of damage and won in the end. Yeah. You're right, Lucyna, my bad. They compromised the Peasant Archer's heart, and although the Long Spirits tried hard to carry, and Onyx Crowman also tried to carry hard, but the Jungle War Drum didn't do any damage. They helped the Jade Warriors trade a bit better, but I think the Fire Rain Rockets sunk a lot of cost into the units, but then just not getting much value out of it. And the Forsaken did well against the lightly armored missiles at the backline and whatnot, I suppose. Yeah, sorry about that, Lucyna. I tend to believe that it's just because the Cathay armies have been winning so much. My brain just default into believing that they won. My bad. Yeah. But yeah, the Chaos Knights did a lot of damage in the end, like almost earning back all their value, and the Feral Manticore also did some good disruptions, and everyone forget what I said in the post-battle screen. This is the better version of the performance recount. Onyx Crowman, they need to be nerfed. But yeah, other than that, Mostly just Chaos Knights carrying the game with a bit of disruption from the Forsaken and the Feral Manticores. Okay, let's try not to mess up again in the next battle, which is Bretonnia versus High Elves. And Bretonnia going cavalry heavy with all the mounted yeomans. A few of them yeoman archers, and then 2 foot squires, 5 men-at-arms with shields, and beast layers of Baston, Hippogriff Knights, and Grail Knights with a Damsel of Life. Okay, this is bad, because somehow they're allowed the Damsel of Life, because, oh right, there's not enough single entities here to, like, occupy the unit caps. No, not enough heroes as well. And then also a priestess. Probably a priestess of beasts or heavens. For the High Elves, 2 Phoenix Guards, 3 Ithilmar chariots. I think these are the melee ones. So, yeah, these are the melee ones. So Ithilmar chariots, heavier, more armor, and are surrounded by a Phoenix Guard plus spear box, just holding the line there, and hoping the handmaidens, double handmaidens, can dish out enough damage, while in the skies princes will also be shooting from afar. Yeah, not sure how this is gonna end, but I don't think it's gonna end well for the High Elves, because the mounted yeoman archers would just be able to just kite and sit outside the box and shoot through the eagle claw bolters, while the peasants will be crashing into the line of spears. And the princes will be pressured by the Royal Hippogriff Knights, who does have the support of healing from a single Damsel of Life with a bit of Earth Blood. But yeah, all these men-at-arms are moving in, and we're gonna see a bit of a grind game. But the mounted yeoman archers are stationed outside the box, shooting at the spears, which is actually, I think, it's a bad idea, because they are shooting at the shielded side of the spears. They are not doing as much damage. Instead, they should move closer and start shooting at the eagle claw bolters, who does not have any missile block chance and are very susceptible to actually missile damage. But anyways, they doesn't seem to be doing that right now, and it's just shooting at the periphery units, while the Ithilmar chariot sallied out of the spear box and tries to get a bit of cheeky charge, and actually routed off 1 unit of men-at-arms. And now the Hippogriff Knights try to dive in and disrupt the missiles and the chariots, but a bit of a breath attack did some minor damage to them, although there was indeed a bit of friendly fire. Peasants are crashing into spears here. Same goes for the mounted yeomen, and are quickly eliminated by the charge defense and charge reflection against the large units. Yep, they're braced beforehand, and the charge reflection doing a lot of damage. In return, Phoenix Guard getting shot up by a ton of archers, and the peasants trying their hardest to break through the spear wall. Not doing too hot right now. But bad news, the princess is actually isolated out here with the Grail Knights on her tail, alongside a lot of Hippogriff Knights coming in, and she is isolated, surrounded, and she'll be quickly eliminated, unfortunately. Ooh, a big bombardment coming in. And that should be the bound spell or scroll on the prophetess, who actually moved in just to cast that ability. Oh yeah, the Assault of Stone blasting away some of the spear box, and now the box has been truly opened up, and some of these mounted yeomen can just get in here and silence these eagle claw bolt first. Not that they need it, because right now the princess has been routed and will not be coming back. We for sure can guarantee that the Bretonians are not gonna let her come back with the flying cavalry chasing her off. Even shattered, and now there's no lord for the High Elves. She will also soon be dead, and that's going to be dealing a blow to the High Elf leadership. The mounted yeoman archers continues to pepper down the Phoenix Guard. No healing for the High Elves, definitely going to hurt them in this kind of scenario, as the expensive Phoenix Guards have no choice but to just sit there and take hits. And then the foot squires are also in the fray with their bit of armor piercing, and anti-infantry can trade okay. Like, they will trade some value against the Phoenix Guards, but Honestly, Foot Squires are such a trash unit with only 27 attack, 34 melee defense. Their hit chance against the elite 52 defense Phoenix Guard is just gonna be abysmal. But what the Bretonnians can do is just a Psycho Charge, throwing in those mounted yeomen for a bit of impact damage, and just trying to whittle down the Phoenix Guard bit by bit. And especially they still have a very, very healthy Royal Hippogriff Knights with healing access. The spear box is not gonna hold for long. All these spears are getting slowly grind down by the overwhelming wave of peasant. Also, the Assault of Stone Scroll hit them hard in the earlier game. The Ithilmar chariots are still surviving. Their heavy armor definitely helping them in this regard, but once the Hippogriff Knights and Grail Knights get into the mix with their armor-piercing damage, the Ithilmar chariots will also not be holding on for too long. Handmaidens are fighting back with their anti-launch damage, but their lack of armor-piercing is a bit concerning against the heavily armored Grail units. And on top of that, the Grail units do have the support of oh, that's a regrowth. Oh god. Yeah, nope. The Bretonnians are certainly winning this one now. So as the Grail Knights are just easily getting topped up in terms of their health, almost at max health allowed due to their unit model limits now. And yeah, that's probably gonna be the end, as the Ithilmar chariots just don't have any space to do any Psycho Charging, being stuck among peasants, and then Hippogriff Knights, Grail Knights are just jumping in to surround them and beating them down. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the end of the High Elves, as the spear box has been breached way earlier in battle. The Handmaidens are still fighting, but I don't see much of a resistance at this point, as the Ithilmar chariots are still stuck, unable to even do any Psycho Charging, being surrounded by mounted yeoman archers who ran out of ammo. The Phoenix Guards have all been routed. Yeah, they are shattered. So there's not much anti-launch presence on the battlefield other than the two Handmaidens, and the Ithilmar chariots, because of their armor, are still holding, but yeah, that's not going to be for long. Army losses comes in, and that's going to be the end of the High Elf army, with the Bretonnians pulling out. Like, not picking 3 heroes for the Bretonnians and allowing them to bring in 1 Damsel of Life is definitely a lethal mistake for the High Elf here, for Koala Duck here, as the Grail Cavalry are allowed to access healing, and on top of that, throwing that princess into a fight far from the box, leave her isolated against all these armor-piercing cavalry. The Grail Knights, the Royal Hippogriff Knights, all free to just hunt down the Moon Dragon and the princess on top. The rest of the army not doing that much damage really, but oh hey, the Foot Squires actually traded well into the spears and the Phoenix Guard, I assume. But the rest of the army not doing too much damage. Some of these mounted yeoman archers did some good damage by shooting into the Phoenix Guards. But yeah, that's about it for the Bretonnian army. And we'll be moving on to the High Elf army, where the Phoenix Guards just took way too much damage from the archers and then getting Psycho Charged. So in the end, not doing much damage. And the Ithilmar chariots, what the hell, getting over 1,000 damage on each of the chariots, definitely earning back quite a bit of their value, probably more than their cost. But the rest of the army not able to carry this game here. Just not trading too well, in like being pressured by missiles, and then the box got breached by the Assault of Stone, and then overwhelming numbers of peasants plus Foot Squires. Foot Squires actually trade okay into the spears, and yeah, the box got broken and they just got swarmed by peasants. Okay, give me like a 2-minute break. Just gonna quickly rehydrate and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Now, let's go for the final battle of the loser's bracket. Dark Elf versus Bretonnia. Once more, this time the Dark Elf player, Pega. So that's Lucyna. Remember to give their opponent 3 Caster Lords without Lore of Life. So no more healing. Oh, once again, we are on the 7 Trebuchet build. Oh, poor Bretonians. Bevrat suffering from all these trebuchets. And now, as for the Dark Elves, 4 shades. This might be interesting, because they might just get hammered by trebuchets, but they do have stock as shades. So, let's see. There are two hacks. Yeah. What are they called again? I haven't seen them on the battlefield for way too long. Which hack witches? Need to check. But anyways, there is a shrine, I believe. Oh no, it's just a couple Bloodwreck. A Bloodwreck Medusa, a Reaper Bolt Throwers, 2 Dev Hags with very minimal items on them. Yeah, no items on them actually, I believe. And then there's also a Dreadlord coming in with only the melee attack boost strength through spite ability, boosting up their surrounding melee attacks. And then 2 Cheese Runner Chariots. Oh no, Code 1 Chariots. Interesting. Code 1 Chariots are actually pretty funny with their armor piercing missiles and armor piercing attacks, just that they rampage, and chariots aren't that great in the meta, so you don't really see them. On the other side of the battlefield, where there are some harpies here ready to disrupt enemy trebuchets, because, well, since they design armies for each other, they do know a lot of what their opponents are bringing mostly. So anyways, the Reaper Bolt Throwers are getting hammered by all the trebuchets. After all, it's 7 artillery versus 1, so you kind of expect the trebuchets to win this fight. But then once the harpies comes in, the trebuchets got shut down, and the shades are able to just get close and just shred these trebuchets with their armor piercing shots. Not that they really need the armor piercing, but that's still fine. Royal Hippogriff Knights in the skies push off some of the harpies off the white line, but some of the harpies are still here, getting on top of the blast few trebuchets and disrupting them from firing. Now the shades are here to just shoot up the few trebuchets. A couple of them, 3 of them are already eliminated, and now the peasants have to move up and start threatening the shades. Now the Grail Cavalry, Grail Knights are slamming into the shades, doing some pretty good damage, but at the back there, the trebuchets are getting wrecked more and more. Yeah, there's not much the peasants can do to stop the enemy from shutting down their artillery. Koan Chariots, I usually say Koan Knights, so I gotta stop myself from saying the Knights and say Chariots instead. Anyways, Koan Chariots YOLO'd into the fight and just got grind down by the Spearmen. And the Royal Hippogriff Knights tried their damnedest to shut down the shades, but there are still 2 on the battlefield. Bloodwreck Medusa also coming in to blast away enemy infantry formations. Their eye lasers with the explosions are actually pretty good at countering enemy infantry. Feral Manticore got summoned onto the battlefield and are now trying to counteract the enemy flyers, being the only flyer available outside of the Royal Hippogriff Knight. Anyways, all the artillery has been shut down right now. All of them is offline. These ones are still here, but they are disrupted by harpies, and all the cavalry are just too busy fighting other stuff than to actually chase after the harpies and screen them away. So the one final field trebuchet unit will also be dealt with, and there goes all the Bretonians' artillery firepower. These Grail Knights really should have just gone in here to shut down the harpies, so that there's still at least 1 unit of few trebuchets to shoot at the shade unit, which is still one very healthy unit on the far side here, shooting down the Royal Hippogriff Knights, who dropped their attack order and now being flying ducks, but still flying still, and just taking a lot of damage coming in. Oh god, this hurts. This might be a lethal mistake. I don't know. This might just be a lethal mistake for the Bretonians here, losing an expensive cavalry like that. Just having them sitting in the skies for way too long, still being forgotten, and yeah, that's just a lot of lot of value gone down the drain, and there's no healing to recover from this mistake. Now the balance of power is in the favor of Dark Elves, as the Hippogriff Knights just getting nuked off the sky. Now they're kind of they're remembered, but this is probably way too late as their leadership is wavering. Half their HP is gone. Like, they took around 50% of HP damage, and yeah, now they're a sliver of their full glory. Grey Knights charging into the Black Wreck Medusa, but in reality they really need to charge into the Shades instead. And the Royal Hippogriff Knights might just route all the way back to the white line. Anyways, over here, Prophetess being shut down by the single entities of the Dark Elves, as the single entities are indeed way better at melee fights than the Prophetess. And yeah. The rest of the Bretonnian units, only the Grey Knights have a bit of fighting power left, and that is all that's holding up the balance of power for the Bretonnians. Other than this Damsel of Beast, but the Damsel of Beast doesn't have any spells on them, so we ignore that. They still have one transformation of Kadon, but that's not going to help them much in this scenario. A bit of crossfires from Shades will be more than enough to shut them down. Oh, and there's also there's still a Reaper build for over here, shooting down the expensive Bretonnian cavalry. Finally, the Grey Knights decided to go after one of the Shade units, the more tattered one, but this might just be too little too late. The Royal Hippogriff Knights also at the same time. They were trying to go after some of the Shade units, but then the firepower is just a bit too much here, and before they can even get into melee, it was persuaded to back off. All that's left for the Bretonnians are pretty much just peasants and some tattered elite knights, and that's not gonna be a match when they're bombarded by the Blood Wreck Medusa and against a very strong single entity core. The Prophetess is just moving away from them, and men-at-arms surrounding the Death Hacks, and the Lord is mostly just there as a speed bump. It doesn't take long for the single entities to completely eliminate them, and I do believe balance of power is slowly moving against the Bretonnians. And army losses will soon kick in as more and more of the Bretonnians are routed away. The Blood Wreck Medusa can probably turn around and start shooting at the peasants and push the balance of power, push army losses earlier, but okay. This might just be a unit that got forgotten by the... Okay, some of these units are probably have been routed and are not returned to battle. And mostly just sitting there because the replay got messed up by the hotfix. Either ways, Lucyna won this battle with a ton of these are some extreme value from the Shade. One Shade carrying the entire game with 3 chevrons, 2,400 gold worth of damage value. The other ones got pressured by peasants, so not so much. But yeah, that one Shade carrying the game, and some harpies running down, shutting down the trebuchets. For the Bretonnians, though, definitely a fatal mistake on the Royal Hippogriff Knights over there, and so even if the Grey Knights did well, allowing the Hippogriff Knights to get nuked by a ton of armor-piercing missiles spelled the doom of the Bretonnians. And yeah, trebuchets here. With all the trebuchets, it's really hard to defend against an incursion of flyers. So very unfortunate for the Bretonnians. Their opponent did create a shittier build than the ones they created, so the Dark Elves were able to win against the less optimal Bretonnian build. Now, final showdown. Sipa on the right versus Lucyna on the left. Which one has the shittier ideas of builds? We shall see, for we have a double Eagle build plus a bunch of Spellsinger and Spellweaver of Beasts, and triple War Dances with Azrai Spears. I don't actually think this is a bad build, although they have like 6 great guards. I don't think this is a bad build. Honestly, Azrai Spears a very solid unit. They just are niche in most matchups because they're rather fragile, not exactly a standing still, holding the line against cavalry unit, but they can shred through monsters and cavalry if they can get the charge. While the Slaanesh army going chariot heavy today, 2 exalted seeker chariots, I believe, or no, these are seeker chariots perhaps. Anyways, we'll just check it out. We'll just check it out once we load into the battle. And yeah, we shall see. Okay, let's slow down a bit and check out the actual army builds. Let's see what the Spellweavers have. Flock of Doom, very good against Slaanesh, using that health drain to just kind of rip away their HP, ignoring their physical resistance and pretty good melee stats. As for the Slaanesh army, not team, Slaanesh, devoted Marauders of Slaanesh for the front line, like 4 of them, in fact 2 Hell Scourges for their extra melee defense, and Chaos Lord of Slaanesh leading the army with the Rapier of Ecstasy. No magic support, I believe, with Cultists and a Chaos War Shrine of Slaanesh. With that, yeah, this is gonna be bad. With that Giver of Torturous Glory, it theoretically can do well against box build and just drain away their health, but the problem is that there's a lot of missiles, and you bet this War Shrine would be a prime target for missiles with only 60 armor. Where are the other units? We have 2 Exalted Seeker Chariots and 1 more Seeker Chariot, I believe. Somewhere here, yeah. Seeker Chariots. Just going for a chariot heavy design, but they're not gonna be effective here, unfortunately. Chariots have not been well for quite a while now. Anyways, Chaos Knights of Slaanesh on one side, Hellstriders on both sides with their Hell Scourges, and this is against the box build, and it's gonna be hard to break. I do feel bad for Sipa as the Slaanesh player, because there's a lot of spears and a lot of charge defense. Now, despite their loose formation, War Dancers do have charge defense and charge reflection against large, so yeah, Lucyna do have the upper hand here, I do believe. We'll do a bit of fast forward here as the Great Eagles are just surveying through the skies, and while the archers are shredding through the poor Slaanesh Marauders. They don't have much armor, and their shields are just not enough to mitigate all the incoming missiles. And as I said before, the Chaos War Shrine is getting hit way too hard by all the missiles. Some of the chariots are able to get on top of the Glade Gods and trying to breach the box here, and yeah, and trying to really work down the Wood Elf missile components, even getting the Demonite summon into the fray, but the War Shrine is already dead. Demonites are fighting through the Glade Gods, should do some very, very good damage with their superior melee stats, but right now the Eternal Gods are holding pretty firm, and with all the investment onto this frontal assault, all the SRI Spears, since there's nothing to threaten the rear and the flanks, all the SRI Spears are able to just abandon the flank and go into the reinforcement over here and try to work down enemy units like these Seeker Chariots. The anti-large armor piercing would be very handy, and you can see the Seeker Chariots are just going down fast. Already down to half health on this one. The rest of them, yeah, the others are also down to half health or less than half. Exalted Seeker Chariots really taking a lot of damage here. Deepwood Scouts are also providing some very strong firepower support, but that's not necessarily needed right now. And yeah, one Seeker Chariot gone. Actually, the other is one Exalted Seeker Chariot is gone. The regular Seeker Chariots are also gone, and the third chariot, the Exalted Seeker Chariot, is also dead. Yep. Demonic instability crumbling. They tried a last hurrah driving through the Glade God, doing some pretty good impact damage, but that's gonna be it for them as they fade away from reality. The Chaos Lord of Slaanesh is trying his best to chase after the missile units, but alas, that's not gonna happen. And the Chaos Knights, yes, they probably can just deal with all the Glade Gods, but what happens when the Eternal Gods and the Azrai Spears are defending them? Well, more and more Glade Gods are being chased away, but at this point, the Wood Elves do have a superior battlefield presence. They can easily just reinforce with War Dancers, having Storm of Blades, reducing their melee defense, just trying to get more damage out with additional melee attack. I do think that it's not necessary against the Chaos Knights with their anti-large bonus already bolstering their attack stats, but against the Slaanesh units who have a rather fragile glass cannon characteristics, this might be worth it just to like out damage the Slaanesh units and just kill them off before they can do too much damage to your lines. Either ways, the War Dancers using the Storm of Blades are shredding through any Slaanesh units they are getting their hands on. And yeah, I do believe that's probably gonna be it for the Slaanesh, as the Chaos Lord of Slaanesh is now surrounded by 2 Eagles and a bit of Azerite Spears, hacking them down with that armor-piercing anti-large. And yeah, that's probably gonna be it. We'll go forward with a bit of fast forward, as the Chaos Lord is now sniped out by the gooning of Great Eagles. And the rest of the Slaanesh army will also be going into army losses. And yeah, that's it for today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed the battle replays from Lucyna's Sussy Sabotage tournament. He has indeed won this battle he hosted, and congratulations him for the win. For the battle performances here, Eagles actually earned back one of their value. The other not so much, but still, you don't really see them doing well in battles, really. But against the Slaanesh army, where they're quite glass cannon, I am not surprised actually with their pretty decent melee strength, I suppose. But anyways, the rest of the army, the War Dancers getting their values worth and also being quite healthy, having superior melee stats to their opponents, shredding through their opponents, the Chaos Knight's armor and the Chaos Lord's armor, plus the Eternal Gods holding the line pretty well against enemy units. And yeah, pretty good performance from the missiles as well, but after being their first line of defense, the spears getting pushed through, they just get threatened out of their firing positions and had to go on the run. So not too much damage in the late game, but very good damage just nuking the poor Chaos Shrine here, getting 0 value whatsoever. For the Slaanesh army, the Exalted Seeker Chariots, oh god, damage is pathetic. Man, Chariots needs to go back to what they used to be in Warhammer 2, the late stage of Warhammer 2, where they actually did something. But yeah, the rest of the army also not doing much against a box build. And yeah, that's it for today's battles. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoy the stream. But yeah, let me just check. Lucyna, yeah, replay broke. Yeah, the Dark Elf. Oh, in reality, the Dark Elf versus Dwarf's arm game was very close in the end. That's a pity. That would have been a very the Dark Elf versus Bretonnian battle. That would have been a really nice thing to see, but alas. But yeah, no worries. Thanks for sending the replays to me. I'm very happy to like see these off meta fights. It's a pity that I wasn't able to cast these battles earlier and lost some of the accuracy of the battles, but I do hope you all still enjoy the action nonetheless. And yeah, that's it for today. If you have, like Lucyna, if you have any more battle replays you want to send me for future tournaments, feel free to just drop me those replays and I'll try to cast them ASAP. Although with CA actually getting very on, like they're getting very on point with hotfixes recently, so there might be more hotfixes coming in before the actual 4.1 patch. So I don't know how long the replays are gonna survive, but either ways, I hope to see more funny battles coming from you. And yeah, I mean, even if I don't cast them, I still love seeing like meme tournaments being hosted in the scene. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoy the battles, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich signing out.